Infinity Ward used an enhanced version of the ID Tech 3 game engine. Infinity Ward wanted to make a World War II game, but to separate it from its competitors, Infinity Ward wanted to make more emphasis on squad-based play with intelligent assistance from teammates during large-scale battles. Let's talk about the game's story. Infinity Ward was founded as a division of the video game developer Activision by Grant Collier, Jason West, and Vince Zambella in 2002. A lot of people who made up this new company were former employees of the 2015 game studio who made the Medal of Honor Allied Assault for EA. Activision gave Infinity Ward $1.5 million for a 30% stake in the company for their first game called Call of Duty. The campaign is split up between three different campaigns. The first time this has happened in a World War II game. You start as a American Private Martin in August of 1942. In June 1944, Martin established a landing zone for soldiers participating in Operation Overlord. If you guys want me to explain the real-life operations, comment below. Martin gets mixed up with all the other companies led by his own CEO, Captain Foley. You and your unit are sent to force the remaining Germans out of Saint Mare Eglise and to disable several anti-aircraft tanks. You destroy the German artillery, and after this, you are told to save two British officers, Major Ingram and Captain Price, the grandfather of the Captain Price you're thinking of. You save Price and are told Ingram has been moved, so you infiltrate the camp and rescue Ingram. The British campaign starts with Sergeant Jack Evans and a unit from the 2nd Ox and Bucks, a British light infantry division of the 6th Airborne, taking part in Operation Tonga. You land near Pegasus Bridge and being led by the aforementioned Pappy Price. By September, you get transferred to the Special Air Service, or SAS. You sabotage the Eater Dam. After that, you help Captain Price again by giving him suppressing fire. Price sacrifices himself for you to escape the boat. You land in Germany and discover plans to launch V-2 rockets at the Allied forces, and you all destroy it before joining the rest of the army. Now, if you haven't played this game, I'm sure you're wondering, now we play as the French, right? Nope. Now we play as the Soviets. The Soviet campaign begins at the Battle of Stalingrad. You play as Corporal Alexei Ivanovich Voronin, and you are sent across the Volga River. Once across the river, you call in an artillery strike that forces the Germans back. You join the army at Red Square and kill several German officers while the Soviet artillery destroys the German tanks. In January of 1945, you are now a sergeant serving in the 150th Division of the 3rd Shock Army. You storm the Reichstag building and raise the victory banner atop the roof. On April 7, 2005, Activision announced that Infinity Ward was developing Call of Duty 2, and there's a showcase at E3 in 05. COD 2 was developed on the IW Engine 2.0, the same ID Tech 3 modified version that the original COD ran on. They added a battle chatter system similar to Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. The budget for this game was $14.5 million, which is equivalent to $20,810,767.15 today. This game works the same way as the last one, 3 campaigns, except they're switched. Let's begin with the first campaign. You begin as Private Vasily Kozlov with the 13th Guards Rifle Division. You are involved in the defense of Moscow from the Germans. You are then in Stalingrad in 42, then you reconnect some cut telephone wires and recapturing the yard rail and train station. It ends when you recapture Stalingrad. You then switch to the British Royal Army as Sergeant John Davis of the 7th Armored Division in North Africa, led by, you guessed it, Captain Price. You start by taking part in a sneak attack against the Nazi Afrika Korps. You fight through several trenches, machine guns, and 88mm Flak 36 guns. You then participate in the attack on El Daba, a city 184 miles east of Cairo. You intercept much of the German forces and destroy several more 88mm guns, and this ends the first British campaign. You then take control of British Tank Commander David Welsh, the most British name I can think of. You engage more Germans in Libya. You then play a mission in Tunisia under fire until you break free and rendezvous with another squad. You take to Jane before mounting an assault on Matmata. You end this campaign during the battle for Cannes, a part of Operation Overlord. The American campaign starts as, what it always seems to, D-Day. You play as Corporal Bill Taylor of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. D-Day happens, you destroy a German artillery battery and hold it against a massive German counteroffensive. After this, you capture a nearby town and you use it to snipe mortar crews. You then focus on Hill 400 and capture Bergstein. The last mission is the Rhine River crossing into Germany. You are under fire and provide cover fire to reach the river bank. The campaign ends with you defeating 2 German Tiger 1s. The end credits see you rescue Captain Price as him and his grandson have a flair for the dramatic, which we'll get to very soon. Multiplayer features match types like Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, Capture the Flag, and Headquarters. These maps include Normandy, Africa, and Russia. A TV ad garnered some controversy, as was normal in this time of video games. The commercial depicted a first-person view of events that were supposed to be in the game, which is common. They used the engine to make the commercial instead of taking actual clips of in-game play. Some people felt misled, but the UK's Advertising Standards Authority, or ASA, disagreed and banned the ad in the UK. Call of Duty 2 was the most popular launch title on Xbox 360, with 200,000 units sold in its first week. By 2013, 5.9 million copies have been sold. While COD 2 had 2 years to develop, COD 3 had 8 months. Developed by Treyarch and ran on their NGL engine, this is the only major Call of Duty game to not be released on the PC. This time the campaign is split into 4 campaigns: American, British, Canadian, and Polish. You begin as an American by the name of Private Nichols, a replacement for the 29th Infantry Division. You begin at the end of the capture of St. Lo. After this, you join the 90th Infantry Division to help secure Saint-Germain-Servais. You capture a bridge in Manet. Sergeant Frank McCullen disarms some bombs attached to the bridge and dies from a gunshot. Corporal Mike Dixon is promoted to sergeant and assumes command. After this, your squad gets sent out to clear out Forte de Couves. I did not pronounce that correctly. While you locate a company of combat engineers, you recapture the depot and destroy a German roadblock. You then aid in the liberation of Le Bourg Saint-Leonard, trapping your enemies by closing the Falaise pocket, and then you're ordered to defend Camboise from those retreating. This campaign ends. You then get transferred to the British front lines as Sergeant James Doyle, a member of the SAS. You parachute into Townsea after the handily Page Halifax is shot down. You are rescued by Pierre LaRoche, and you regroup with Corporal Duncan Keith, Major Gerald Ingram, and Isabel Dufante, a resistance member. The group assault a manor house to free Marcel, another resistance member. You launch a raid on a German-held fuel plant and succeed in destroying the facility. You, Keith, and Marcel escape, but you see Ingram crash and presume dead. You later learn Ingram is alive. You rescue Ingram and fend off a German counterattack, and Isabel is killed. You then get transferred to the Canadian front lines as Private Joseph Cole of the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders of Canada. You attack a German artillery battery near Tilly-la-Champagne.
And it's pronounced champagne.
Oh, God, no!
It's not a big deal.
I get so lonely.
You then clear a forested area near the Laizon River for Allied convoys to move through. You free a captured Canadian tank crew in St. Lambert-sur-Dives. With their help, capture the town. You are attacked by a King Tiger tank, and a Sergeant Jonathan Collard manually detonates charges on an ammunition stockpile, sacrificing himself. Cole gets promoted, and the Canadian campaign ends. Wojciech, a Sherman Firefly driver in the Polish 1st Armored Division. While aiding Canadian and British forces, you engage with the Germans. You defend Hill 262 while enduring an assault by what's left of the German 7th Army. Your tank is destroyed, and you continue on foot. With the summit overrun, you retreat. At the summit of the hill, a large German counterattack force arrives. After some fighting, the Royal Canadian Air Force and Canadian reinforcements appear and help take over the hill, and it's in Allied hands. This ends the story. This is the second Call of Duty to have multiplayer, but the first to have two different game modes. All team game modes feature the soldiers of the Allied nations versus the Axis nations. The game was the first COD to feature some DLC or downloadable content. 3 map packs were released for the Xbox 360 multiplayer game on the Xbox Live Marketplace. The first was called Champs. Champs was a free download on January 11, 2007 and contained a single self-titled map. The second map pack was called Valor. This contained 5 new maps and called Crossing, Ironclad, Laborgod, Stalag 23, and Wildwood. This pack was released on January 27, 2007 for $10. The last map pack was called Bravo, which contained 5 new maps. 2 of these were remade from COD United Offensive, which we will discuss next time. These maps were called Guerre Contraire, Marcellus, Afterhunt, Seine Rivers, and Rimling. This pack was released on May 31st, 2007 for $10. The game was received well, and by the end of 2006 sold 1.1 million units in the US. By February 3rd of 2007, the game outsold 2 million units. The Xbox 360 and PS2 releases received a Platinum Sales Award. This indicates the selling of at least 300,000 units in the UK. By November 2013, the game had sold 7.2 million copies worldwide. So, I never played any of these games. I don't have a lot of extra stuff to add in part 2. I still won't have a lot of stuff to add, but once we hit the Modern Warfare era of COD, I'll have some stories to tell. I'm excited for the series, so please, if you made it this far, tell me what you think. I love COD, and I can't wait to read the comments. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.